Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Avini Vibes. My name is Christine Rolando from New York, tri-state area. However, tonight I am reporting from beautiful, beautiful Santa Fe, New Mexico. The beauty, Chip and I were just talking about the beauty of this business. You can do it everywhere around the world. You have your computer, your phone. It's simple, it's easy, and we can share and help people worldwide. Well, let me take that back. Yes, we can help people worldwide. And we're going to tell you a little story about that in a moment, how we were able to do that this past weekend. But again, we're grateful you're here. I want to remind you we have a couple housekeeping rules, or I don't like the word rules, but housekeeping issues. If you can mute yourself for quality of sound when we do record. And we do ask if you have a question, you can raise your hand and we'll get to you after our beautiful guest, Sylvie Moore, is going to speak with us in a little bit. But we also want to remember we don't make medical claims. We don't make medical claims. We don't diagnose and we don't treat. We're here to learn, we're here to educate, and we're here to hear stories that happen to us personally, or even some of our pets, their stories and our loved ones. So we're very grateful that you're all here with us tonight. We just came off a whirlwind event, and this is the beauty of building a business, but the beauty of sharing. Chip can share with us a little bit at the end about it. And we're fortunate because Bogusha Pikal, she's right there. She's not on camera, but she put together an event. And this event was through her Polish community. And I actually know a few Polish words now because I hung out with them last year when Rick came and spoke in New Jersey. And this year we were so blessed to have Tony Maria Beta with us and Chip Littlejohn in the house with us, presenting to this amazing community of very, very smart people, highly educated. And I want to say maybe Bagusha's skeptical because they're ingredient readers. So we had a beautiful visit with them in Clark, New Jersey, and boom, popcorn started popcorn. Right, Tony Marie? It just kind of went bang, 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 bang as people heard the beautiful thing about Avini. So we'll talk about that in a moment. But right now, I'd like to just introduce you to somebody that I had an opportunity to hear a couple weeks ago on Tony's morning call, and I was so taken back from her story, but I wanted to hear more. Sylvie Moore is in the house. Sylvie, why don't you unmute and join us? We'd like to hear about you, and we'd like to hear about your journey, your health journey. We know that you grew up, I believe, in New York City, and you were in the finance world and banking world, and you actually ran a company. I think it was hot air balloons. Wow, that's pretty. Has anybody been on a hot air balloon? Raise your hand. That's pretty courageous. So the floor is yours. Please join us and tell us all about your journey if you don't mind. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your program here. I You have a little bit of that incorrect. I did not grow up in New York. However, I did live in New York for 14 years. My daughter, there you go. My daughter lives in New York. I watched my grandkids grow up, and now they're all adults. But I am a California girl. I was born in Quebec City, Canada. I am French Canadian. But at the age of 4, my family moved to California. So California really is my home, where I live now. I live in Menifee, California. I did own a hot air balloon rides company for 20 years. We used to fly out of the Temecula Valley uh, vineyards area. So that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of work. Also, I was a banker for about 38 years. Most of my success was in New York City. I worked on Park Avenue South, and I was one of the top bankers in New York City. So I really, truly enjoyed that. But while I let me tell you a little bit about my health journey. As I got into my 40s, I started developing a lot of autoimmune problems. Had no idea what was going on, why this was happening to me, but that was my case, unfortunately. And it was the one. Well, with autoimmune, the problem is that you don't always just have one. You always have multiples. But my main one was unfortunately the one where you get the little wolf butterfly rash on your face, and basically your immune system is attacking its organs. For me, it was my skin. So I would just go into anaphylaxis for no apparent reason. So I would just normal day, I would end up having, I would break out into hives it would start from the top of my head down to my toes. My blood pressure would drop, and it was really bad. And when that would happen, I know that I just have minutes to get to the hospital before something happens. Then they would have to give me a cocktail of different things to bring me out of it. I've almost lost my life a couple of times because of it. But thankfully, I'm still here. Um, the doctors, all the rheumatologists, even the best of the best of the best in New York City would tell me all the same thing. You have this, there's no cure. You're gonna just have to live with it. We're gonna give you medications. Yes, there are side effects. However, chances of you getting flare-ups are fewer and far between. However, the weight gain and all that stuff is gonna happen. Then, of course, menopause happened. Everything got worse and worse and worse and worse. I would be in a lot of pain. I also had other things like fibromyalgia and all these other things, joint pain, everything hurt. I mean, everything hurt. Life was just not exciting anymore. It was really rough. And who's going to hang it up in their 40s? I was not ready to do that. I was not ready to allow myself to hang it up and go and not work anymore and just sit at home and just hate my life. I was doing everything I can to find different ways, changing my eating habits, everything. Nothing helped. I mean, I was 236 pounds in my 50s, with the menopause and the pain and everything going on. It was awful. It was just really, really awful. I've tried everything. I even did Nutrisystem to try to lose weight, and that helped a little bit, but then I would gain it all back again. Finally, something happened about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago. Uh, Wendy Snow reached out to me and she said, "Hey, Sylvie, listen, I just started on these products with Avini, and it's just been really great. I'm just starting off, but right now, so far, it's amazing stuff. And everything that I've read about it, it's just great. I want you to join me in talking to Tony Abeta on a three-way call. And, and I want you to hear a little more about it." And I said, "Sure, I'll do anything. At this point, I'm fed up. I can't live like this." So I talked to Tony, and she explained it to me, and I was set, like, you know what, let's do this. I have nothing to lose at this point. I really need to do something. And I was thinking about going the holistic way and not going on pharmaceuticals, because I know, for everything that you go on, I mean, there's always these side effects are going to be worse than the problem itself. I don't want to go down that road. So I would decided I'm going to try this. It has been, let me tell you, an absolute amazing journey. It didn't take very long for me to notice the difference. I mean, just notice some little things here and there. It's like, oh my gosh, you know what? This is happening and this is happening. And the joint pain, just feeling the fatigue, it was gone. I would say it took a matter of maybe 6 months before I really started noticing a difference. Then I started noticing my clothes getting looser. By the first year, I would say that I was really shocked, because you just go everyday life, and then you realize, oh my gosh, this is this is working. This is really working. Went and got some blood work done, um and this is in my first year that I was on the products. I went and got my blood work done, and they checked my ANA numbers, and that was for my autoimmune. And they said, "Well, Sylvie, it's at zero. You don't have you don't have any autoimmune." I said, "No, you're something's wrong with your numbers, because every time I've ever had these tests done, it was always in the thousands. I mean, thousands." They checked it again. I went back in, did blood work 3 days later. "Sylvie, it's at zero. You don't need to be on any medications or anything." "Really?" "Okay, I'll buy it." I didn't think anything of it. But what caused this? I have no idea. Went on my business and continued to take, and all I was doing really was just taking Cell Defender and the Immunity mushrooms.
Just those
And
two products initially?
those were the two products initially that I was taking. So, and then as products were coming on, I was, I started taking them. I also had a problem with night vision. I hated driving at night. It would scare me, just scare me. Um, and then when I was, sorry, I was taking, oh my gosh, Plus Mind and Vision. When that came out, I took it. Do you know that in 1 week's time, it made a huge difference? I no longer had the glare at night. Sorry about the video there. I no longer had the glare at night, and it's been a godsend for me because I had terrible vision anyway. But to be scared of driving at night was one thing, but it's weird. I drive all the time now at night, and I don't care. I don't. It doesn't bother me anymore. It really does make a difference with the night vision. Um, but I've on almost every product that we have because it's all doing really wonderful things. I stopped taking the fiber, and I started taking the plus fiber again now that we have the probiotics in there. What a game changer. My stomach is getting flatter. I'm, it's just a total game changer. I mean, it really is. I got to tell you guys, I am the biggest skeptic that you'll ever meet in the world. And for me, Avini has saved my entire life. I mean, I am, oh, the weight, 236 pounds, okay, 3 years ago. I now weigh 134. I weighed myself this morning to make sure I had the number right.
Wow, that's
134.
amazing.
I
And you
went from a
feel
size 18 to a size 2. Yeah, it made a big difference. And I'm not even exercising. The only exercise I ever get is I jump from conclusion to conclusion. I'm
what
joking.
amazing story and journey. And right, you got
Yeah,
to tell the world, and that's why we're doing this.
it's
But
it is amazing. I don't want to get choked up, but I can't begin to tell you how different my life is. And everyone that knows me has watched me through my journey, and they all ask me, "What did you do?" Now they're either going to be major skeptics, or they're going to just go, "I want to do this. I want to get on this journey with you." You know, it has been crazy amazing. It really
can I ask
has.
you a this is a personal question. You can say, no, I don't want to answer
Oh, you
it.
can
But
ask me anything. Go ahead.
like the relationship with food, right? So,
Uh-huh.
so you were 236 pounds.
Hmm.
Did you, was it, did you start eating differently when you started having all these
Well,
aches and pains and all, and now you're
I
looking at life and life is changing and, how did your relationship to food change?
Well, my relationship to food changed when I decided I wanted to change long before I even got on Avini. I was doing everything. I was trying to eat healthy. I was trying to not eat garbage and just stay away. And nothing was working. Nothing was working. And that's when I got on the Nutrisystem. And that was actually working. I lost, I think, 45 pounds, but then I gained it right back again.
Right.
But it wasn't changing anything as far as my stomach was still bloated. I still felt, not myself. Nothing was still right until I made the change with Avini. But um, it's funny now that when your body is healthier and free of toxins and heavy metals, you no longer crave crap. You don't. You just don't crave salty foods. You don't crave sweets. You don't crave alcohol. You don't crave anything. You have to remind yourself to eat, actually. It it's weird. You're eating really just to live. You're not eating because for comfort. And that made a big difference. And I noticed that, I would say, probably the first 2 months on Avini, on the Cell Defender, I noticed that. And I think it's because my body is not, it doesn't have all these toxins in it, causing it to have all these different crazy cravings. I would crave the weirdest stuff too. And I'm like, I don't even know why I'm eating this. But it made a big difference. And now I do eat healthy. I eat, healthy on purpose, because now I can pick and choose what I eat and what I put in my body. Um, because I definitely don't ever want to go back to the way things were. And I'm trying my best to not, and we can't stop the toxins from coming into our lives, but I'm trying to alleviate that, the ones that are going in, by mouth anyway.
How about your rheumatologist? What did you go back to him and when he saw
You
zero?
know, it's funny that my rheumatologist, I had got some new ones when I moved back to California. And
Okay.
when I went to the rheumatologist and we went over everything, and they said, "Well, I'm looking at all your documents and all your health records from New York, and it was pretty severe, and now it's different." They did ask me what I did. When you tell them what you did, they don't want to hear about it.
No.
It's like, okay, well, and I'm like, well, I think everyone should be on this. And I'm telling them, and they're just going, okay, that's fine. Now, on December 31st, when I had all of my blood work come back, my primary care doctor called me herself on the 31st, on New Year's Eve. She said, Sylvia, I had to call you personally because I got to go over your numbers. And I said, oh no, what's going on? And I'm thinking it's back, right? She said, I have never met a 63-year-old woman with health as perfect as yours. Everything, all your numbers are in the green, perfect, perfect, perfect. And I remember that it wasn't so perfect when you moved back from New York. It was pretty awful. She said, I need to know more about what you are taking.
Mm.
And I said, that's fine. I brought her some information. I brought her some pamphlets and stuff, and she's been reading over it. And she said, that's been amazing. That's been an absolute amazing thing. She says, I can't talk to my patients about this. It just can't. But I personally think this is wonderful. And see, and this is the problem, you
Right.
know, I just feel that the world just wants to keep you sick because they make money on you. And I mean, that's my opinion. And I'm sure it's a lot of people's opinions. But personally, I've gone through it. It's like, take this medication, take this medication. No, I don't want to take that because it can cause this, this, and this. Yeah, but your chances are better with being on the medication than not. And I said, no, I don't believe that. And I'm glad I went with my intuition. And I am so blessed.
Well, you're so blessed and thank God you were open, right? To listen because some people aren't open to listen, but you were and you received it. That's it.
Yes.
So I would like
Yeah.
to give the opportunity for anybody if you have a question for Sylvie, just unmute yourself or raise your hand. You could raise your hand and we'll unmute you. And while we're doing that, Tony Marie, you were a part of this. So why don't you jump in a minute? You were a part of this. You told me, where do you hear this transformation? I only heard a little, couple minutes on Monday, but now, wow, to go from 236 pounds to a size 2 and feel great and be at 0 with these autoimmune
Mhm.
issues. Tony, what's your thoughts?
Thoughts are really profound in that when I was speaking to Sylvie, she never gave away how serious her situation was. She was calm, she was confident. It was an honor to meet her through Wendy Snow. It really was because they had grown up as classmates together. If I remember correctly,
Mhm.
Sylvie, weren't you high school
Yes.
classmates together? And,
Yes.
Wendy was just thrilled to introduce Sylvie. But really, when she's talking now to us about what her situation with her immune system is. When I understand that now, guys and gals, this is huge. It was serious. And Sylvie never let on because her attitude always was, I'm a professional, I'm in banking, I have clients that need me, I'm going to be there, I'm going to work hard. And Sylvie was the top producer for new accounts, if I understand that right.
Home
Um,
equities mostly. Home equities, and I was a private banker as well.
exactly. And so there was no indication that this gal had anything going the wrong direction. But I got to meet her in several summits, always bubbly, always cheery. But then from summit to summit, I started seeing the ever shrinking Sylvie. And
Yes.
the leaner and meaner this gal got, the brighter and shinier she got as well. And so I'm thrilled because I know what I lost a cousin to what Sylvie has been dealing with. And it is a very severe illness. And I'm just really, really happy that we had something in Avini and that Sylvie was brave enough to trust and to use and to be a part of. And Sylvie, we're just really, really proud that you have a whole new life. Because, girl, I know you are single and out there, and
Yes.
you are a whole new Sylvie with a whole new life. So I'm thrilled. I'm just thrilled for you.
Thank you.
You
Thank
know,
Love
you.
you.
each week we do this. We always say, "What's the topic going to be?" But I love Tony. What Tony just said: leaner and meaner, leaner and meaner. But you've got
Leaner
a
and meaner.
beautiful, and but you're on a mission, and your story is powerful, and we got to get it out there to hear. Chip and Tony came, like as I was saying. We went to a Bagusha to the Polish festival, and my college roommate showed up, and she was there. My friend Lauren, and she's in the medical field in big pharma. She actually does the clinical trial study. She types up the reports for the doctors when they present, and she was very open to hear, Tony, right, what we shared with her. But that's what she was sharing, why the doctors can't say it or do it, what we're doing.
Exactly.
That's why there's each one of us in this room. There's 21 of us today. And that's why we have to go out and share the Sylvie story and other stories. Chip, I see you unmuted. You want to make a comment, please?
Well, always, and I this is the second
Hey,
time I've
Jeff.
gotten to hear Sylvia. Hi there. Yeah, what a wonderful, and so many of those stories started. My friend Wendy called me, then a three-way with Tony, and you kind of know, okay, here comes the good stuff, because that's where it comes from. I have to ask you just for the fun of it. At 20 years of running a hot air balloon on a typical ride, what altitude would you go up to? And in all those 20 years, what was the highest altitude you ever took a hot air balloon to?
Well, I'm not a pilot. I did everything else. I crewed it. I ran the company. I did the marketing. I did everything else. But I did not pilot the hot air balloons. However, the highest I've ever been was actually at, I would say, 10,000 feet. We were taking skydivers up, and I went up with them. And woo, you get a little lightheaded and giggly, but it was kind of thrilling watching those skydivers jump out. Um, been on the balloon a few times doing TV shows and commercials and in the news. We even did the weather in Del Mar, California. Um, yeah, I did some fun and exciting stuff, but yeah, generally a typical hot air balloon ride, you don't go more than about maybe 5,000 feet because at this point, I mean, past that, you're not gonna see much. You kind of want to see tops of trees and you want to see the water and different things like that. But it is a lot of fun. It really
So
is.
we kind of get to know you a little more and know your expertise a little more. I was
Mhm.
really fascinated because I kind of loved your doctor and she was so honest with you and she did
Yes.
ask the questions and
Yes.
she did study it and she did say basically she said if it's me, I'm going to go the route you went.
Hmm.
But if it's my
Exactly.
patients, but if it's my patients, now how's she going to feel every day the rest of her career? They're coming in and they're going up to 236 pounds and size 18 with horrible misery, and she knows the answer and can't tell. I
I never
mean,
go to the doctors. Yeah, I never go to the
I
doctors
know, but
anymore. Yeah.
for her as the doctor, I mean, how do you, it's moral damage.
Right.
Knowing the
Yes,
answer and not being able to reveal it, that's causing moral damage to her, I would think.
exactly.
But she's
Yeah.
trapped. She's probably trapped by her mortgage, trapped by
Hmm.
her degree, trapped by her peers. There's
Exactly.
something horribly wrong with that. Something
Absolutely.
horribly wrong with that. And so
Absolutely.
God bless you for finding your own way and Wendy for reaching out to you and Tony for being the angel that she is. And,
Absolutely.
you know, those conversations, and I gather that you hit it pretty well. She didn't really know. Do you remember something from that conversation that made you kind of think, oh my gosh, maybe I am onto something here?
Absolutely.
Say something a little bit about the conversation with Wendy and Tony.
The conversation with Wendy and Tony, well, when Wendy talked to me a little bit briefly about it a few days prior, and I said, "Yeah, I think I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it." She goes, "Well," and then she says, "Do you mind?" And then she called me again. She goes, "Do you mind if I put a friend on and talk with you too a little bit more, so maybe you have more of clarification as to what we're working with here?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So that's when that conversation with Tony, and the way, I don't know, I listened to what Tony had to say, and I said, I was actually mid send. It was funny because after the first 2 seconds or 2 sentences that Tony was explaining to me about Avini, I was already ready to go and do it. Let's start it because I
So it was
needed
a sense,
something. I
so
needed
you got a
something.
sense that she felt that between she transferred the hope that there was an answer to you. It was still
Yes.
Tony's thing and Wendy's thing. It wasn't Sylvie's thing yet, but somehow
No,
the hope transferred to you.
it's the intuition. I'm huge on intuition. I follow my life that way because if something doesn't feel good, I don't go. I won't do it. If something tells me, you know what, it's worth a shot, I'll do it. And it hasn't steered me wrong yet. So this has been a really good intuition for me that this
Well,
was something that was going to work for me.
with all your business savvy and your being the top home equities producer, has that does this look like a business opportunity to you? Have you
Oh,
worked out
Oh,
thank
a
you
plan
for
or two?
asking that, Chip. Thank you for asking that question because that was on the tip of my tongue.
yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. It absolutely is. I just retired from my 9 to 5. I retired last year, so now I'm actually refocusing my life on what I want to do, and I'm actually making Avini a huge part of my life on a business level as well. I'm talking to absolutely everybody. I actually do a little side thing that I do. It's I do lemon law cases, so I'm the transfer agent. So I'm the last person that the person will see after their lemon law case is completed. I have to do I inspect their vehicle and then do the documents and give them their check. but I talk to everybody. And it's funny how people just open up to me. It's amazing how people open up to me. I will get people that say, "I'm sorry I'm late. I'm having a bad day. I'm having a flare up. I've got autoimmune, da 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 da." And I let them talk. I let them tell me everything about them. And then I say, "You know what? I suffered from autoimmune problems too. Do you mind if I ask what you have and what your symptoms are?" They open up to me. They want to talk about it. They do. And I just did a home meeting. I was supposed to just meet this one girl and go talk to her more about it because she did the lemon law thing with me. I carry brochures and my cards with me, and I gave her one and I said, "Listen, I'm going to give you a call. Do you mind if I call you in a couple of days? Go ahead and read over this. I'm going to call you in a couple of days. Is that okay?" She said, "Absolutely." And when I went to, she goes, come to my mom's house." So then she calls me up and she says, "Oh, before you come to my mom's house, there's going to be 18 people there. Everyone's interested in hearing about what you have
Wow.
and what you got going on." You got it. Well, the girl bought, her mom is buying. They're all of a sudden all these things are coming out. Oh, my grandson is autistic and this is happening and this is, oh, I think this will help my son, and just different, everyone's talking about their problems. I'm like, these products will help absolutely every one of you, because you know what, you all have one thing in common. And they said, "What's that?" "You're all toxic." And I don't
Yes.
mean that in a mean way. I mean that we are all full of toxins and heavy metals, and we got to get the trash out. That's how you're going to get healthy. Take the trash
Yeah.
out, and now your body can heal itself like it's supposed to. And
There's, I want to point out that that same Wendy and Tony are really good to help organize a business. And you guys, when those good things happen and people are excited, that's all cool, but it doesn't count until it's entered in the computer. And,
right.
I watched the girls in the booth, how good they were, how good Tony is, how great Christine is. And those of you that are great about actually getting the people into the computer, now it's a business. I'm real good at, getting people interested. But I really admire the people that help become personal assistants, at least for a few minutes, and get the people in the computer so that they have their own access to Avini. And Sylvie, lean on Wendy and Tony. I'm sure they're
Yes.
really, really good. You know that probably by now.
Yes, in fact, I spoke to Melissa, the young lady again. In fact, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I talked to her yesterday. It was Wednesday, and we're going to talk again. And I asked her. I said, Can I make a recommendation?" And I said, "I know that you're already on the products and you're already started, and your family is talking about it, and they're going to get involved." I said, "Do you mind if we do a 3-way call?" um, with one of my colleagues, and she said, "No, absolutely not. Let me talk to my mom and let's see when a good time would be." And then, so I'm going to be there at their home and we're going to do this. So yeah,
Hmm.
they all want to be on the call. So
I'm
there's
so
a couple of
happy, and
cousins and
it's going to be fun that we got to know you when you were brand new. It looks to me like
uh-huh.
you're going to take off and fly. I'm going to quiet myself. That was a great insight into who you are and what you're going to do.
Okay, thank
Thank you,
you.
Chip. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And I just want to thank each and every one of you that are here and listening. But I really want you to listen, but remember what she said, because it is transformational. And I'm so proud, Sylvie, that you're able now to go into home meetings. And that's what we're all going to be doing more of, right? Home meetings. Bagusha, I don't know if you want to come
Yes.
on, and maybe she's jumped off already. Bagusha, do you want to unmute just for a moment? I'm putting her on the spot, but she's the one who organized this Polish festival. And just want to tell you, thank you, Bagusha. Say hello to everybody, and we're grateful how you're spreading the news of Avini in your community.
Yes, it was great weekend. Very, a lot of people came, a lot of people was interested, and we have a fun. We have a fun like we always do if we want to help people. and we toxic like everybody. Everything in the store we buying, we don't know what we buying, but at least we have Avini, and Avini is the one that can pull all this toxicity from our body, so our immune system will be stronger and get well quickly. So, I was grateful to teach people, Polish people about it, because, we take different product, different vitamins, different things, but if you clean your body, those products will work even better, So, and Christina was amazing, and other people, Tony came and support us. So we were like so blessed for all the thing that was done on those 2 days. And our legs was hurting because and we speak all day. So it was very, very, very amazing. Actually, our booth was the busiest one so far I know.
Oh my gosh, you girls, you enrolled 8 people in a row that I saw. Would you just say in Polish, a cleaner, healthier body fix itself? Would you just say that in Polish?
Okay, so I have to say in Polish?
Yeah,
Yes.
Polish.
Oh, Polish. It means that if you're when you're gonna okay, in Polish I have to say, oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Polish.
Jeżeli weźmiecie ten produkt, to ten produkt oczyści wasz organizm i wtedy wasz organizm szybciej będzie zdrowy. That's tough.
Thank you. She was doing that left and right. I mean, she was surrounded by people, and I couldn't tell exactly what she was saying, but I could tell that everybody loved it and everybody was joining her.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
And it was amazing, even though they were all speaking Polish, Tony, Chip, and I could kind of sort of get the cues or whatever of how to do it, right? So we can do it in English, if we can do it in Polish and English, we don't even speak Polish, we can do this anywhere. And I just want to tell one quick story and then we're going to sign off. But so there was a fellow that Sylvie will appreciate this because you know West End Avenue, right? In New York City, right? Beautiful upscale area. My daughter and I were just in Brooklyn for her birthday the other day, and we walked up Park Avenue in Lexington. But Bagusha had a client in her chair and speaking to him, and we're going to see changes in his life. And I said, "Oh, you live on West End Avenue? I know West Avenue. My daughter cooked for Deer Park Chopa over there on West End Avenue at a dinner once." And I was sharing the story of how nervous she was because he was late, the client who was having him, and he only said there were 2 people coming, but 8 showed up, and she literally was I think, in the closet having a panic attack. I said, just be calm, just be calm. But I said, do you think that we can do a home meeting in your apartment on West End Avenue? So you never know, Sylvia, you'll be back on Park Avenue doing events too. So that's what we're going to do. Listen, we're going to go out and share. Doesn't matter if it's Park Avenue, West End Avenue, any avenue at all. It's just the avenues of the people that we need to help and continue to hear about amazing stories like this. But I'm blown away because I know somebody with autoimmune and those numbers, same thing. And to see your transformation, Tony, you were right. Thank you for introducing me to this lovely lady.
I might also say I see Lisa DeLisandro up there. She's always quiet, but when you get around her, she's not quiet. We should have her talking more.
Yeah, she's going to be talking. She'll be a feature in a couple of weeks. We have another
Okay.
event in New York.
All right.
So
Look forward to that.
Yeah, God bless each and every one of you. And one last reminder, tonight's April 30th, so the day's not over yet. So let's go in our back offices, see who needs help, see who needs one more customer, see who needs whatever, because we're not over the finish line yet. And we'll see you all May 15th and 16th at the summit down in Boca Raton. God bless each and every one of you. And Sylvie, nice to meet you. Carol Witt, you too. Thank you always for your help.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Carol. Bye, guys.
Incredible.
Bye.
Bye.